So I've got my reference picture here, and it's a blue sky, a bit of cloud. I'm trying to keep it really simple. Like anything I do with my paintings, I try and keep it as simple as possible. It's much easier if you don't overthink it. So I'm going to start off mixing my colour. So this, I'm just going to be using an ultramarine blue. That's always kind of my go-to for a blue sky. Now, always, you've just got to be thinking about how you paint your sky. Now, always bear in mind that you tend to start darker. It's getting lighter down here, but obviously we need to think about the clouds. But we'll show you some of the. But I'll show you some of the cloud techniques and how to create some cloud. Now you can see in the picture, in the middle of the picture, we've got this larger cloud. Now, first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the paper and do what we call the wet on wet technique. So, just going to layer the paper, but I'm actually not going to cover the whole page with just some water. I'm just going to be a little bit sporadic. So, kind of feel where the cloud is. Just add some gaps. And you can see, because I've already mixed my paint and cleaned my brush, but because obviously I've still got a bit of blue on there as is. So I'm just kind of leaving the gaps. This is even before I've put the paint on. So now let's put that paint on. And you should see, that's it. It's just going to drip through those gaps. So again, there's natural gaps in there where I've just left the paper dry. Now, with watercolour, you can't be overly precise. Don't worry if you can't get that cloud exactly as you want it. It's not always about that. It's about the fill of a cloud. Now, you will find at the bottom where the water's running down the page is at an angle anyway, you've already got that fill of just distance, so darker at the bottom, slightly lighter towards the horizon. Now, we're just going to put a bit more definition in some of the clouds. You see, in watercolour, you've got to leave the paper to produce the clouds, but just soften them up. Just going to get a bit of tissue paper, a bit of toilet paper, whatever you want. And what I'm going to do is just dab it, just to soften up some of the edges of those clouds. Okay, just to add, I kind of make them look a little bit more fluffy. And that is as simple as you can make it. Remember, if you're painting out in the outdoors, you know, to paint sky and clouds, there's always movement. So you just need to do your own interpretation of it. But the simple form is using one colour here, just going to cover the paper with water just to the point of what you want to actually cover. Leave the white bits for the cloud and everything else. There you go, one colour.